end of the poem, I think he says, "There's no authority in art," and that shit always stuck with me, man. Mac, I'd like to be your host. We could do an open mic and merge both worlds.
Does he have a website or something?
He does. He has a
Yeah.
book. The
I'll ask you about it and I'll link it as well. Cause the idea of this chat we're having is I want anyone who's interested in poetry, who thinks freedom's a good thing, to be motivated and to look into everything that you've got going on and that is, influenced in your sphere of influence. So yeah, because
I'd
like
be
I
happy
said,
to do
truth
that.
music is a pretty big thing now. I remember it was first getting started, but what about truth poetry?
You're right.
This is a fresh, untapped, relatively untapped field with as more and more people are starting to wake up, unsnap their bindings out of the matrix.
I'm moving house today. It's been 2 years, 8 months, and 28 days, and I've got to say that as I step off the bus for what could be the last time spent as sitting in your boss supermarket queues, etc. And I have to say though, it's only today that I'm glad to be leaving. I really will miss the when Santa.
Listening to truthconduit.com with Chris McMillan.
I don't know if it's me or like I could hear you coming in clean.
Yeah, good.
Like the video comes in like
it's probably me on my side, but keep in mind the recording on my side is the recording. So
okay.
If
got you.
If you spat out a bit, I'll stop you and say, "Oh, hold on, can you say that again?" Because that does happen because I've got crappy internet because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I do this all the time.
Okay.
Oh, get this.
Well, that just shows you have some integrity.
Oh man, I was doing the live roundtable, all the autonomy classes there, and I'm hosting 9/11 discussion, and I'm with James Corbett, Richard Gage, and Richard Grove. So it was a 9/11 discussion, and I'm talking about something, and then I was gone. Bam, my internet kicked me out. And so I found out later in the recording when I went, I just kind of went, roar, and Richard Gage was like, oh, he's going, he's trying. And then luckily Richard Grove took over, for a second before I came back. Yeah. Hold that thought. I'm going to give you a little introductions here. Okay. So Khalik Sim, AKA Pablo Zambrano. This is what I've got. Okay. Poet, video editor, content creator, activist, writer, host of the Renaissance Revolution, and autonomy graduate. Now, I know from your poem, My Audience, you've got a lot more titles. Your poem, that was much better said. My Audience, that was really great.
No, I was just trying to bring you back, but before I hand the mic back to you, that was a really good introduction. That definitely goes up to par with my audience, so thank you for that. And I'm really thrilled to be on this meeting with you, man. This interview with you. It's you know what? I'm gonna give you credit in your timing. So I'm glad you didn't reach out to me earlier because I feel like I'm in a different space right now. This is the energy like I want to promote. So yeah, your timing is divine, dude.
Well, this Saturday you've got a premiere of you've got 2 premieres set this Saturday on your YouTube channel. That's so right. You had a very interesting experience recently. You gave a little teaser trailer, which I think I'm going to put in, if it's all right with you, into the beginning of this interview.
Now, you and I in the past have talked about some of the rituals that human beings throughout history have used to really connect to being human beings and their communities and the great story of human history. Choosing a name for yourself, creating your own naming ceremony, as we know some indigenous cultures or nations, First Nations do. Was it a rite of passage at all for you?
Holy shit, Lee. That's amazing. I didn't even think of it like that. I really didn't.
This is really the role of psychedelics. This is how the role I see plant medicine play in this revolution. Like There's a reason these plants are coming to every corner of the world. Ayahuasca is Incan technology, pre-Incan technology of the highest magnitude.
Today is March 19th, 2021. Today I am embarking on my first ayahuasca trip. Today's also my mother's birthday. I was looking for something to help me, push beyond this vacancy of experience, because I have those father issues where I felt like, my father wasn't necessarily there to help me make those bounds and those leaps in life. Today is Sunday, March 21st. I saw the rhythm of life. I saw the pain. I saw the random thoughts. There was moments where we all went through this rhythm.
1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
At the equinox of my paradox, I am suited up and prepared to undock, prepared to unlock a new level in my journey through perception. Yesterday a civilian, today an astronaut. I am bound in spot to receive the crop, the download.
I've got a lot of questions here. I'm just going to kind of go with it. But do you want to talk about what happened, your recent experience? Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to, if you don't want to give any spoilers and save it till Saturday, no problem. But whatever you want to mention.
No, I could like glaze over it, if you want. On the spring equinox, this past equinox, I had the opportunity to go to a ayahuasca retreat, and it was a very mind expanding, trippy, it was everything in one. It was like, I went to I went to the deli and ordered like a coffee, and I had like all the details. Let me get a half and half, all of this. It was everything, dude. It was really intense, and I'm so happy I did it at the time that I did it, with the people that I did it. I really felt connected with everybody there. I made some really great relationships and connections. And the place I did it at over here in Orlando, and they did the facilitation and everything was just so profound, down to the music. It was just really well orchestrated. They're clearly artists and in tune with source, because it was like a tapestry. And I was just honored to be able to be there and connect with the people that I connected with. And the two premiere videos that you're speaking about are just a manifestation of what came out of that experience. It was, it definitely served me for inspiration to create. And I was able to put together a vlog of my experience. And I wrote a poem, and it was definitely captured through the experiences. There's even some quotes that I got from people that I just threw in there, so I'm definitely paying homage to people that I was traveling with, my journey, and just the experience in general. Yeah.
Okay, so today's the 14th of April. So I'm definitely going to get this out by the time people are watching this before this Saturday, but just so it premieres Saturday, that's the 17th at 7:30 Eastern. Is that right?
The video, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, cool.
I think I put them both at different times, but
okay.
they premiere Saturday.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of leave that with that. Yeah, very interesting. That is something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. So Owen and I was talking with Bootsy Greenwood. My last episode, we were talking about that very topic.
Yeah.
And there are pending things going on in the things to do. So I would ask you more about it, but let's push on to the poetry aspect. I just want to ask
Can I
you.
say one thing? Can I
Yeah,
say
go
one thing
for
real
it.
quick? The way I explained it to someone, and I heard this from someone, you know, if you want to take, you could either take the local train or you could take the express train. You know what I'm saying? And ayahuasca is like the express train, really just giving you a really, it's deep stuff though. Like, I'm not gonna, like, full disclaimer, you know, everybody's experience is very unique and similar at the same time. So it is very tough. So you know, you got to take consideration of the time, the place, who you do it with, where you do it. It's very important. So like, even though like I know people that have had like experiences that they may be traumatic, but they are a lesson. You know what I'm saying? So just take that with a grain of salt. But I do encourage people. Somebody said the other day, if all the elite were to take it, like, who's to know where the hell the world would be? You know, if they would be able to tap into that type of connection. Who knows? Maybe
Who's
that's
to
what
say they haven't?
That's a good point. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, because you could, you know, you got left hand magic, you got different types of polarization. So you make a good point. People have tapped into it, from what I heard, to help them during war and things of that nature. So that's a good point. That could be a whole nother show. We might have to get Owen on that one, or somebody else.
Yeah, who knows what they're tapped into.
Valid.
Speaking of the elite, do you want to talk about so you and I, we have something very important in common, is we understand that there's a bigger picture going on in the world that most people just refuse to either accept, or they're just not getting it, even if it's rubbed in their face. Maybe some people are on the fence. There's a bigger truth going on right now, geopolitically and everything else. Basically, the veil has been pulled over the world's eyes, and there's a small minority of people who have been able to start seeing through the veil. Basically, the metaphorical waking up from the matrix kind of thing.
Yep.
What is your journey of how you kind of started going down the rabbit hole? There's a lot of metaphors to describe where we're at. What happened?
I mean, it's very, like I said, with the ayahuasca situation, like, experiences are very unique but very similar, and I imagine we have many overlaps with our stories. But in essence, like, it's just been a constant, multi-pronged experience of like getting seeds and questioning. I've always been questioning. You know, I'm a heathen, like, at nature, in a sense of like, I got kicked out of my church, like, almost type scenario, for just asking questions. And I took on many different like beliefs, trying to like surf through.
Do you mean like studying all the different religions, things like that?
Yeah, like I touched many of the like Christianity sects and stuff, being family and stuff like that, having family members that are different types of flavors of Christianity. So that I've been through the gambit of that. And then like getting older, I started, you know, I jumped out of Christianity and I jumped into Black Israelite for a little bit, because I felt like that was a more palatable truth for me. And I didn't stay in there too long, because it was just, it's a long story. Like, that aspect of the whole Israelite thing, like, that's a whole different thing. I still have family in, you know, that, and I have Christian, you know, family members as well, and things like that nature. So like, you know, I blend with everybody at this point. I was very militant back in the day. You know, I became atheist after that transition. So I was very like in your face, like, you know, saying some wild stuff. But, you know, I'm more spiritual now. So ultimately, like, it's just been you know, ongoing onion type of experience of just constantly asking questions and going deeper into the rabbit hole. And my wife definitely contributed to like my spiritual expansion. So yeah, it's just been that typical, you know, journey. That's my whole brand, Journey Through Perception. That's who that's like what I represent. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey through this whole thing. And I'm very open. I've always been open minded in a sense. So that kind of allowed me to kind of drift into different things. Or I'd even say, like, I don't know, maybe I'm a little, maybe like having values was something that was very much embedded in me. And I always like wanted to look deeper than people saw.
So you're,
I can't explain why that is, but yeah.
The asking questions, the being open-minded and not afraid to try different things, that's seems to be a common theme for people who think freedom is a good thing. You know, you've grown a lot, man. So was there anything specific that, like, what led you like to autonomy, for example? You know, how did that happen?
Okay. Yeah, that's how you narrow it down there. Sure. Yeah. I mean, two of the major moments for me that kind of led me towards like alternative media and, like, you know, the flavor of truth is what I know to be true today, was like I was a big Bernie supporter, so I was like in that like, kind of wave. And after seeing Bernie Sanders concede, see like everything that happened through that, and I was watching like Jimmy Dore and these type of cats back in those days, so we kind of transitioned all together. Like I remember watching Jimmy, you know, on the Turks, and all the other people that were kind of like fringe and asking questions. Like we all started shifting together. Like, hold on, what's going on here? So that whole election, the 2016 election, really had me go on a like polarized move. I was like, okay, what I know is completely wrong. So that, you know, I say that to say that got me going deeper and listening to different, you know, alternative media voices. And eventually that got me down the you know, the path of Derrick Broze, you know, James Corbett. And then eventually I had found out Tragedy and Hope through the 5-hour history lesson. And from the 5-hour history lesson is really what got me, you know, into the course, you know, University of Reason, so to speak. So yeah, that's how we connect, you know.
Very interesting. I did not know that. Yeah. So Broze, because Broze, he covers a lot the spiritual side of things, which you were very much exploring. And I was watching Corbett, and that's how Corbett led me to Broze, actually. And John Taylor Gatto, same as you, led me to Richard Grove. I'd never heard of Richard Grove. First time I saw John Taylor Gatto's interview, I was like, who's this young guy who knows his stuff? And that led me to Tragedy and Hope. That is really interesting. And then, that's how we met. Well, who were some of your early artistic influences? How did you get into poetry?
Well, I'll start with this. My father is he is an artist. Like seriously, he did it all. Carpentry, down to like craftsmanship. Like he was an artist. So I somewhat intuitively or like subconsciously got, I guess, some of that. And my family, like my brother's a rapper. Yeah. My father was early influence. It's I'm starting to believe it's somewhat like, you know, I wouldn't say genetic, but like
was he a writer?
Inherited. He was a musician. I believe he wrote, you know, but he was all over it. He was an artist, a painter, a really good, you know, artist on many different avenues. So like that definitely influenced me. But in terms of like art beyond that, I was heavily influenced by, you know, hip hop and rap and, you know, rock. I pretty much everything. Like I love everything, and I always like dabbled into music and stuff like that. I was in an ensemble. I was in a choir. You know.
I didn't realize your poetic influences was mainly from music. Interesting. I was going to ask you, like, for aspiring poets today, do you have any recommendations for poets who think freedom is a good thing over enslavement?
Yeah. I know Journal Poets is really good. I really like his work. Um, Benny Wills for sure. I'm still trying to find All of Us, you know, but I'm sure I'm missing some people. And I do a lot of really cool poetry with some of my homies on minds.com. So there's a really great scene of amazing poets. And also it's hard to say because a lot of like music is poetry. So like I could be missing like an actual artist because I'm classifying him as like maybe rap music. Like Derrick Bros just dropped two songs today that was amazing. You know what I mean? And it's definitely poetry. Like you hear it, it's poetry. But it has many different layers and dimensions. So to kind of boil it down, I will definitely say for poets right now that I could say off the top, Journal, I think it's Journal. I said Journal Poets, right? Journal Poet.
Yeah,
Like
you
that.
said
Journal. I forget his name.
Journal Poet.
Yeah. So Journal Poet. I'll send it to you. And Benny Wills.
Yeah, I've never heard of a Journal Poet, but of course, I know Benny.
Yeah,
That's
no,
cool.
he's
And
good, man. He's really good.
so your father was from New York or Ecuador? Who was from Ecuador?
Ecuador.
Okay, and your mother's from New York. Is that right?
My mother's from Jamaica.
I didn't know that. Okay, because you're from New
Yeah.
York, so
Yeah.
New York City, man.
Yeah. Nobody's really from New York. It's the same thing like Florida. Like nobody's really from Florida. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in Florida, like from the north.
Yeah, it's starting to be that way in Texas.
Oh yeah. I bet. Everybody I know is either going to Texas or Florida, man. It's crazy.
So, what about prose? You ever write prose, or are you just you're more poetry then?
Man, I'm still trying to understand like the grammar behind poetry. Like I'm really just
From what
just
I
read
understood, there
the
doesn't
Bible.
have to be any grammar, does there? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, right. There
Here.
is no authority in poetry.
Here, can I read one of yours?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's see. This one I
Yeah.
liked. Eyes Wide Shut. Okay, I can't do it as well as you, but I'm going to read it. Eyes wide shut. An orange peeled still leaves us in a greater rut. Who are us? The URL of mass exodus. The new age, aged, ripe in time for a rite of passage. We who write are sites of passage, the nudge of passion, relive old tactics, those lived in us. It's time to capture eyes wide open. Refined, the train departs, the belongers, those not yet raptured. It's time for actors. Okay, when I took poetry, I did a poetry thing when I was in college. And the number one rule was we were never supposed to explain our work. we would make, I don't know, maybe there's 15 of us. He'd had to make 15 copies of your poem. Everybody would have to read it. And then we went around, everybody made their interpretation of it. I don't know, but I got to ask you, I like it because it's so cryptic. Is there any of that one you want to explain?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm very, that's kind of my writing style. Like I have different styles that I write with, but I definitely write somewhat cryptic at times. But I think it
so the
weaves each
orange
other.
peeled.
Like it's very like there's so many different components. I'm talking about Trump with that one. Like Trump being peeled out.
Okay.
No, I imagine some people don't get that. And that's cool because now I could just show you how different like people can think completely differently. Like something could go over your head or it could land right in your chest. It depends on the perspective. But an orange peel, that's Trump is peeled back, man. He's out. That still leaves us in a greater rut. Like whether he's here or not there, like we're still in shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of that first opening line.
Very good. Okay. So the belongers, those not yet raptured. It's time for actors. Help me out here. So
okay.
People who want to, are you there? Because I look at society, there's people who think freedom's a good thing. And then there are people who don't even know what freedom is. And then there are people who just are so afraid. I don't know. What's that about?
Yeah, in that line, I was really going like biblical reference. So I use like belongers and raptured in this next line because that's a whole biblical line that I'm talking about there. And what I'm talking about there is like the 144,000 in the Bible, like during the rapture period, there's a select amount of people or disciples or whatever that stay on earth to help like spread the gospel, so to speak. So in that line, I'm talking about the people that are supposed to be here, like the movers and the shakers. You know, those are the ones that are not yet raptured. We have not ascended from this plane or this, this reality, so to speak, yet. So those of us still here, we need to act. Pretty much, it's very cryptic, but I think there's poetry in the explanation as well because it just adds even more. I guess that's why I do it, because I want you to ask, like, what the hell are you talking about, bro?
Yeah. I think it's brilliant, even though I don't understand it. I wanted to ask you, you say, so you've got your poetry group that you convene with quite often. What's that about? What do you guys do? What's the format? Is minds.com? Is that where you guys get together? And I saw in some of your video recordings, you guys are there live. What do you got going on? What is that?
Yeah, Minds is a really a social media platform like near and dear to my heart. I've had some of my greatest experiences as like performing and connecting with different artists, specifically like poets and whatnot. But I had some of my most fond experiences there. And yeah, Minds is just a really great platform, a freedom-minded, privacy-minded, as much as far as I understand, blockchain-based social media that has a really great ecosystem of artists and people that have been on the platform for a long time. Like I've been on Minds since 2015, so I'm like, I think Minds came out in 2009. But like 2015, 2016, like there was a big migration because of the stuff that was going on, the censorship that was heavily, released in that time for the elections. So a lot of people migrated there, and like we've been like early adopters, and there's just a really cool system of amount of us and creators that just collaborate. A lot of interviews get done, people cross pollinate, and that was me. That interview maybe you saw was me on Minds Gaming. That's an interview, like a gaming interview, like platform that they talk about games and things like that. But and then every so often they interview artists. So I was there for that part of it. But yeah, it's just a really great platform, and I'm definitely trying to get more involved in it because I see a lot of potential, and I'd be interested in seeing what that looks like. I'm taking my time, but I'm definitely playing on the platform. That's what I'm saying.
And you are the host of Renaissance Revolution. So what's that all about?
Yeah, man, that was the brainchild of, dynamic learning. That's what happens in autonomy, man. Like you get motivated, you get inspired to do things. And like Renaissance Revolution is not my idea. Like that's real. We came together and worked out in a way where, it's turning out a lot better than I expected. And I'm gratefully thankful and honored, with the help and the support and just the brainstorming, we came together. So we basically came together. It was like me, Agnieszka, an autonomy student, and Gabriel. A few of us, we came together and we were just trying to figure out like, how do we support the artists in the community? And, the show kind of took on like different elements and things like that. But ultimately, like we try to spotlight, or, I try to spotlight autonomy students, and then I try to spotlight just the truth. I like to call it red pill, like rebel music. So I spotlight both worlds, the amazing art that we have here in autonomy, and I do it in the outer ethos outside of like my little bubble in this community. And there's so much art, man. Like I got so much material to share. I'm just excited to be able to be the conduit of that,
And all the Renaissance Revolution episodes are on your website, on your YouTube channel, right? They're all published up there.
Everything after 11. because I was in a beta stage. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do. You know, I was kind of like wishy-washy for a good while, but I was doing it nonetheless, and I had a good time. But there was a lot of growth period. I was going through some stuff as well, like trying to know self more. So it was just an interesting time. But now, yeah. So we're going on the 15th episode, and I'm having a amazing time. I look forward to it.
So
And
what
I
are you
do it
going to
once a
do
month.
with 1 through 10?
Um,
Sorry, well, 1 is on my website,
that's
truthconduit.com,
great. Yeah,
because it's the condensed edit of it.
yeah. We went on for a while.
But I just want to say, you know, if I wanted to make my own little compilation of truth poetry, Renaissance Revolution would be the first place I would look, because man, there was some amazing poetry being read at that I was at the first one, and I participated in the first one. I tuned
Yeah.
into the second one, and I was blown away by that guy. His name was Chris McSomething. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Chris Milholland. Yeah,
Man,
that's awesome, dude.
I mean, where is he? Like, that guy had, like hard hitting,
Yeah,
tell
he
it
was
like it is. Yeah,
he was
yeah.
amazing. And
I just think
Chris,
there's a
man,
treasure trove of truth poetry there that could be curated somehow.
yeah. I mean, so Chris is the because I spotlighted him on one episode, and he shared like some of his work, because he also does like instrumentals, or like sound wave type music, soundscape. So it's up on his page, like the spotlight version of that. So it's on his page. But
I will link his page in the show notes for this, just in case.
he's up there. You know what? That's another one. I should have put that up there with the recommendation you had, because he is definitely one of my favorites. I love his style. I really do like his style, and he has a lot to say. Definitely.
Yeah. So good. You've got the Renaissance Revolution. You've got your poetry circles on minds.com. How often do you guys get together?
Not often. I've been off of the platform for a while, like several years, because I was really burnt out with social media. I'm still trying to understand how to like have a relationship with it. So like a part of me definitely wants to give, a fraction of myself to that community, but I also want to, give a part of myself to my local community. Like I'm doing an open mic. I booked myself. I bought some tickets to an open mic not far from me in Orlando. So I'm trying to get like connection with just people here where I'm at as well. So yeah, I link up with them. I'll definitely be linking up with them in the future. I'm interested in doing an open mic and merging both worlds, or like co-hosting with he doesn't even know this, but co-hosting with the dude that did the original open mic that I went to, that I had such an amazing time at. His name is Mac Vogt. He's a great poet as well. He's a part of the community, and he's the dude. He had this poem where it was so amazing. And at the end of the poem, I think he says, "There's no authority in art," and that shit always stuck with me, man. Mac, I'd like to be your host. We could do an open mic and merge both worlds.
Does he have a website or something?
He does. He has a book.
I'll ask you about it, and I'll link it as well. Because the idea of this chat we're having is, I want anyone who's interested in poetry, who thinks freedom's a good thing, to be motivated and to look into everything that you've got going on, and that is, influenced in your sphere of influence. So yeah, because like I said, truth music is a pretty big thing now. I remember it was first getting started, but what about truth poetry? This is a fresh, relatively untapped field, as more and more people are starting to wake up, unsnap their bindings out of the matrix.
I have one thought about that. Like, that's one of the things with our community. Like, I found out Chris Jansen had told me about More Light journals. There's another community that is trying to compile and gather truth art. So it's springing up, man, and I'm so excited to be like in that circle, because I haven't seen enough of that. Maybe I'm limited to my perspective, but I'm trying to figure out what's out there as well by being the conduit, and just trying to amplify and do my part with it. But what was it called again? More Light Journal is out there doing their thing when it comes to like I said, putting out truth material.
Yeah.
Renaissance Revolution is that's like the main idea of the whole thing. And if anyone knows of any other ones, please,
Exactly.
shout out to one of us, and I'd love to share information. Like, I've been gathering some music too, so I'd like to know what's out there and keep pumping it out there.
The project that we did together at New Year's Eve, that was very successful. That's had a lot of views on
Yeah,
YouTube.
dude.
A lot of people, I got a lot of positive feedback from
Amen,
that.
man.
It's 2030. Yeah, that was good fun. That was really a video editing exercise for me. Speaking of which, I do want to talk tech shop with you, maybe tomorrow or some part. I'm fed up with Premiere, man. I've had
I
too
don't
much.
use Premiere anymore, bro.
I'm done. Anyway, we'll talk about that because
Sure.
another people may not know as well about you. Pablo, you are a stellar video editor and always improving. So for Autonomy Unlimited, which is technically Autonomy is a client of Autonomy Unlimited. So I'll also link Autonomy Unlimited for any content creators who want to get their whatever they need, their content edited, landing page,
newsletters, anything. Yeah.
anything, graphics. But about your poetry itself, all the work you've done. So I thought of a few categories. What would you say off the top of your head is the most controversial one? Your overall favorite one that you I don't know, any ones that stand out, maybe some ones that you thought sucked, but you got positive feedback, or vice versa, ones that you thought were good, didn't get so much good feedback.
Man, that's a big net, man. You just threw out the whole net into the ocean and said, let's see what's going to come up.
Well, here, okay, it's open mic, New York City, poetry, and they say, okay, Pablo, you're going to read 3 of your poems. Which ones would you pick? That's the question, right?
That's
there.
why you're the quarterback, dude. That was amazing. That was amazing. Damn. Man, speaking of open mics, I've had some very traumatic experiences because I was in front of myself, so to speak, like constantly not letting myself be loose. But in terms of open mic, let's say if I was gonna do an open mic, or let's talk about the open mic I'm about to do, what would I perform? I don't know. Everything I do is controversial and provocative.
Yes.
So that's just what I do, no matter what it is. So whatever I'm choosing is going to be like up there. So I have one called, let's see, hold on. Mindfuck is definitely one.
I was about to say Mindfuck. That's the one I was about to say Mindfuck. And you read, there's a video of you in New York City at a big audience. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so Mindfuck is definitely one of my favorite pieces. I got a lot of material, dude. Like
the one about on the trains was very good. I liked that one.
Oh yeah, the MTA memoir or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. You know what? I could drop one like a new gem or something for the show, man. Let's see. You want something like that. Okay, let me see something like recent that I wrote that I'm like, yeah, I would like this I'd like to share this, and maybe this is a good place. Let's see.
And one of the things that makes you stand out is the fact that you are a video editor, so you can you create your own poetry, you create your own graphics, you create your own music. I mean, you are the artist wrapped in one, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to, bring different dimensions. I think that's what's so cool. Like that's why I was so proud of Derek. Seeing when he dropped those 2 new tracks, and I was like, man, look at the different dimensions, man. Like, the more layers you bring, the more you can relate with people. And that's what I'm just trying to bring. I'm trying to bring like, the visuals, the audio, the whole experience, and bring it into one little piece that will kind of like give you more, more layers to mess around with.
Yeah, more angles to come in at, more perception.
Yeah.
And the more skills you have as well, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is an overlying theme of this future going forward. It's one of the reasons we both homeschool, because the days of being indoctrinated by public education system and then going to college with one career for one, one diploma. Those days are long gone. Anyone who's going to survive going forward has got to have loads of skills across the board. Maybe not an expert in everything, but being what's the word, generalist. And that's what we're trying to do, working on our 19 skills.
Yeah. I found something though.
What you got?
This is new. I haven't shared this anywhere.
Woohoo! Exclusive.
Let me tell you.
Khalik Sim, exclusive work right here on truthconduit.com.
Just for you, dude. Just for you,
Cool.
for sure. For anyone that brings me on the show, I try to bring some gifts. So if the time permits and whatever. But this is called The Alliance. I wrote it on March 1st, 2021.
Was that before or after your ayahuasca experience?
This was before.
Okay.
Yeah. This was before. So this is interesting. Like, this is kind of like the meeting, I'm in the waiting room, so to speak.
Yeah.
For ayahuasca. So it goes, allies unite, together we bite, the hand that divides us, the surrogate conquered by the collision of ironic derision, no more permission, differences imprisoned, similarities have risen to bridge the oppressor's mission, a call to my religious, to my economic classes, to my sexual oriented, to my feminine, to my masculine, and everything in between, to my incarcerated, my veterans, to my orientations, the indoctrinated, the medicated. There is more of us than they estimated. Reason for domestication, reason for democide, to my 99, even the upper echelon. It is true, even the 1%, descend and repent. To my law enforcers, my blue collars, my white collars, listen, it's the rising hollers of the Alliance. That's it.
Dude, that was awesome. That was fantastic. I'm not sure if I agree the 1% will ever descend and repent. Well, repent, I don't know. Descend, that's up to all it takes is enough people to just say enough is enough. Yeah. Non-compliance. That was really good. Demedicate, democide. I was sitting there taking notes. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that again.
Yeah, I'll send you the lyric.
That is exactly the kind of poetry I'm talking about. When I talk about truth poetry. That was very good. It's an honor. Yes. What are you gonna do with that?
It's book material. I'm in book 2 mode. So
yeah. I was going to bring that up. Book 1. You've had your book 1. It's on Amazon. Where else are you selling it?
Journey Through Perception is pretty much everywhere, but the best place to get it would be the publishing house, which is a self-publishing house, which is Lulu Publishing.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon rapes everybody pretty much.
When we did our project, it's 2030. I did link the Amazon link to that book. I didn't know about the Lulu.
No. It's totally fun. It was like, this is almost like, I like to call it like a lead magnet now in my mind,
Exactly. A book is the best business card. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I'm interested in, it's self-published, so I could do whatever. I could take it off the market and just completely put it back up just on my website, or just through Lulu. I'm very interested in publishers and learning how to do that going forward with this next book. So I'm having my horizons kind of broadened with this one. I'm definitely not going to take the same decisions, especially with like publishing. If I do publish on Amazon, I'll make it like 20 times more expensive so that people could come to my website. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to buy it on Amazon, then, I got the website. It would be way cheaper over there. So I don't know. Maybe that would be a way to get people off. That's just a thought.
That's a Bootsy Greenwood hack as well. You go to Amazon and then go to the original seller. And that way, you can help them out more and
Yeah.
and skikacker. I'm not sure if that word works. Skikacker around the amp, giving your money to the machine.
Mm.
The machine.
Truth
Well,
Conduit, where we make up new slang.
yeah.
Skikacker.
Yeah, I was using the word shikuckle the other day. I need to shikuckle
That's
this
amazing.
around. Something to do in the garden. I can't remember what it was. So
For everyone that doesn't know, Chris is a poet as well. So he is a wordsmith. That's where these words are coming from.
yeah, I try to be. I used to love poetry, right? I wrote all the time. It's how I vented when I was
Yeah.
younger.
Phenomenal. You're
I don't
such
write
a
so
poet.
much these days. Now, it's I guess doing this is kind of my catharsis,
Yeah.
because every episode, every post I do is a learning experience for me, and it's me by publishing it and editing it. That's the rhetoric part of the Trivium,
Cool. That's a
so
good way to put it. Yeah.
because if you don't learn something, if you don't share it, what good is it? You have to share the knowledge. Right. So you've got your book, you're working on your new book. You've got the Renaissance Revolution. You're just getting after it, making content, and what else? Is there anything else you got going on?
So real quick, the next book, I already got the title, so we might as well throw that in there. It'll be Journey Through Perception, Diary of the Insignificant. So that's book 2. In terms of like other projects, I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, so I'm getting it in with you.
I really, I saw bits of your interview with Lee Wayward. That was good fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did one with Lee. That was my first interview with Lee, man. Lee popped my cherry.
Yeah, I
Whoa.
need to. I know Lee, but I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
I need to touch base with him. Well, cool.
Yeah, he's cool, man. But yeah, so interviews and beyond that, man, I'm still trying to work it out. I'm working with people and with people in autonomy and just trying to figure out like what can I do going forward, what type of things I could bring to my communities as an exchange of value and service. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Who knows? It might be a course, there might be a workshop, there might be, something. But for sure, a book is coming. More content is coming. I'm interested in collaborating with people and maybe even doing interviews too. Like definitely content creation is up there. Video editing is, right there with it. And yeah, that's that. I think we covered it all right there.
You on anywhere else other than YouTube though? Are you on where else do you put your work up?
I'm on float.app. I'm on Odyssey. I'm on Minds. I'm on Instagram. I used to be on Steemit. I don't really do much Steemit like that anymore. So.
Steemit's gone for the most part. It was a thing for a while.
Yeah. I was like up there, early adopter with that project. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it there. And I'm in the neighborhood near you. If anybody's, if anybody wants to, whatever it is, that's another thing too. I'd love to, I'll put this out in the ether, man. I would love to, do like events, like conferences. It's nervous as heck. Like
What do you mean? Like,
nerve-wracking.
do you mean like MC or host or sponsor your own or just go to them? What do you mean?
Maybe sponsor my own, maybe a little bit of going to it. But if I get a really good reason to, obviously not necessarily like that doesn't have to be the reason for me to go, because I'd love to go to these events, conferences. But if I get even a more attractive reason to go, I'd love to do something like that. Like, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure about MCing that kind of, I won't say no, but I'd like to maybe perform or like have some work, that I'll do or something like that. I don't know, but that's something.
What do we got coming up? There's Pork Fest at the end of June up in New Hampshire. And then Red Pill is going on in South Dakota at the beginning of June. And there's quite a few conferences. Is there anything closer to you going on?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Like just people who like freedom getting together. And
I mean, we're Florida, so I'm sure I'm in Florida, so I know there's events. If there's not, I'm interested. Like I'm I got the open mic that I'm doing soon, and shit, I'm even interested in hosting events with my Freedom Cell community out here. Who knows, man? Like, the more we get together, I think that is important, man. Like, we have to blitz. We're in Hail Mary mode right now. We going to the end zone, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. And I'm excited. How does it work? Good times make weak men. Help me out here. Then
Yeah, I'm
weak
sorry.
men make hard times, and then
I
hard
missed the Hail Mary pass, man.
yeah.
I think you got it though.
But then hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times create weak men, and around we go. That's it. Yeah. So we are.
You took the ball to the end zone, bro.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah. Well, cool, Pablo. Well, let's wrap up. What other?
I like to put it
plugins-
like never let a crisis go to waste. That's how I like to kind of encapsulate that.
Yeah.
But
you've pretty much plugged in your book. Oh yes, your shop. You sell T-shirts.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got merch. I got merch out there, man. I'm on Teespring, Khalik Sim.
I'll put the link in the show notes for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, so I got a Threadless account and a Teespring account. And I got some pretty cool designs that I conceived. I didn't, design them, but I conceived them, and I had a designer help me out with that. And I'm interested in putting some more attention in that area. I like designing. I think it's pretty cool. I'm just interested in concepts, even like what Richard does. Like, there'll be times like I'll either draw something or write something out, like a concept that comes to my mind, and I'll be like, okay, that'll be cool for a T-shirt. So yeah.
I've got a T-shirt shop as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's linked in Truth Conduit. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? We've talked about your book, your poetry, your T-shirt shop, and your shop. I mentioned all that. What else? Anything else? Life is good, yeah. Florida, free state.
Yeah, man, it's been great here, and I'm very grateful that I had this that you opened up the space for me, man, and I'm really thrilled that I got to, cross over and check out your audience and whatnot, and I'm interested in you're great people, so I would love my audience to know about you. Some of my people already know about you, man.
Yeah,
So,
that collaboration we did in January was good fun.
Yeah, a lot of people in my Freedom Cell community seen that and are big fan of your
The guy who wrote it, his name's Stuart. He was very happy with the results. He said, "Man, he wrote me an email. He said it gave him chill bumps watching it." I said, "Yes." He was really
That's
happy, and he
amazing. That was fun.
pushing it out on his blog.
Yeah, definitely put that in the show notes too, man. When I re-upload this too, I'm gonna have that on there. I'll probably re-upload the video we did if that's cool. I like to re-upload stuff that I
whatever you want, man.
that's
Open
okay with you.
source,
And I'll
man.
just plug you back in. I like it. Yeah,
It's
I was
all-
just checking. I was making sure.
Open source, man, is the only way to go forward. Open source.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, Pablo. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, and keep fighting, man. Keep putting out that light, and that goes for everybody, man. It's blitz time. It's go time.
Walking down the street, the children play. For them, it's just another day. The future's reflected in their parents' faces, who chose to stay on in this place where they were born, went to school, got married, had kids, like their grandparents before them did. Got to escape, before it's too late. Although today I could say that I really will miss the when Santa. But yeah, I was right. Knew what it was like when Santa.
You've been listening to truthconduit.com with Chris McMillan. Go to the subscribe page and sign up to get notifications of the latest posts. And check out the support page to help keep it going.
Yeah, I've got a friend in Jesus Christ. I and Jesus Christ and Krishna and Buddha and my bartender.
Have you found that your skills aren't matching up with the challenges ahead? Here are 19 essential skills for success that school never taught you. Get your free copy by following the link below or visit getautonomy.info/19skills.